What up, YouTube Lakes? Come back at you with another Custom StarCraft 2 cast. Today, it's going to be a really interesting one. We've got the SC Evo Complete mod, which puts together the StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 races, but this time around, it's Brood War versus Brood War in the StarCraft 2 engine. I am stoked. Spawning on the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's our blue Brood War Protoss player, DarkTemplar, going up against his opponent. Spawning on the top right-hand side of the map, it's our green Brood War Zerg player, Typic. Now, DarkTemplar is a fellow YouTuber, and he actually found me out in the wild the other day, and we played some SC Evo Complete together. It was super fun. He's a really good StarCraft 2 player, so I expect this replay to be really fun to watch. Looks like DarkTemplar did try to block the natural base expansion for Typic. DarkTemplar saying so close, and Typic saying, yeah, you were so close, but I got my natural base expansion sorted, so too bad for you. Now, I will leave DarkTemplar's YouTube and Discord in the description below. Go ahead and show him some love if you feel like it, and if you're new to my channel, I do cast a lot of custom StarCraft 2 content, so if custom StarCraft 2 is something you're interested in watching more of, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, back to the show. Cybernetics Core is on the way. We do have a little bit of a wall in the main base. What I think I would have done going up against Zerg, and I don't know actually, to be fair, I don't know if Typic rolled random. I don't actually remember, but to be fair, it's possible he rolled random, but what I would usually do is wall off the natural base, because if you do not have a full wall and there's speedlings that just decide to run into your natural base is done, then you're behind. You're behind in economy, and the game is basically over. So we'll see how this goes. Third base coming down for Typic. So Typic not going for any sort of cheese. He's actually going for what is a total macro game. This is absolutely a macro game. There is no all-in whatsoever. None at all. We do have Zergling speed, though. So there will be some Zerglings coming towards what I want to say is the blue side of the map, the blue Protoss player side of the map. Shield battery is also on the way. So there is going to be some sort of wall. Now, one interesting thing about the shield battery, if you guys are not familiar with Brood War, I believe this shield battery, you actually have to physically select it and then choose what unit it heals. As far as I know, I'm not as familiar with Brood War, but that's what I think. That's what I think you need to do with this shield battery. So it's not like the StarCraft 2 shield battery where you just make a super battery and then you're like, yep, my army is unkillable. Nope. This shield battery takes a bit more micro. The front door is absolutely open, though. DarkTemplar saying, I can't cancel shield batteries. That is absolutely a bug, but I think it's a bug that might have actually saved his life. One of the Zealots does go down. We do have a few more Zerglings left over. These probes are like, I got you, bro. I got you. This probe running for its life. It will survive. Metabolic boost will be done in about 10 seconds. So you know what? This shield battery, I'm pretty sure just saved the game for DarkTemplar. I mean, that's a little bit, okay, you know what? That's a little bit dramatic, but this is a lot of Zerglings, and now they have speed. He would have lost so many workers. The Stargate is finished as well, which I like, because DarkTemplar, great game sense, realizing that there is an Overlord on this high ground spot right here. So he will be taking out that Overlord. It looks like we have what is a Corsair on the way, which is awesome. I don't think I've actually covered a game with the Brood War Corsair yet using this mod. Excuse me, I almost just died. So this is going to be really interesting to see. I love the animation of it in StarCraft 1. So let's see how it looks in StarCraft 2. That is so cool. That is so cool, and its damage is actually so ridiculous. So this Overlord will most certainly go down. These Zealots checking out what is on the third base location. And it's a few Zerglings, a lot of Speedlings, but these Zealots are like tanks. We have what is going to be the third base coming down for our blue Protoss player. Let's take a look at what is going on the Zerg side of the map. We have the Macro Hatchery, we have the Hydralisk Den. Now, one other thing I should mention, if you're not familiar with Brood War, is there's no such thing as a queen that injects larva. There is a flying queen, which is like a spellcaster, but there's no queen that can do larva injects. So your macro is really, it's really important to use the macro hatcheries, because your macro is reliant on those larvae, but each hatchery only produces 3 larvae, and that's it. So yeah, you need the macro hatcheries. Now we've also got what are going to be Hydralisks, and we have what are going to be the Corsairs trying to do some damage. I don't think they killed any workers, though. One worker actually was killed, but it was by green, not by blue. And more Corsairs are on the way. No, so we've only got 3 Corsairs now. Okay, now we have another Corsair on the way. So I really like this build. And the Corsairs, they look so cool, man. I don't think they can attack ground, though. So I think you know what? You know what I think is happening? DarkTemplar is going Overlord hunting. I love this. So he's going to be going for Overlords. This is like Phoenix harassment, but in Brood War. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention is I don't really know what the meta is in Brood War, but I feel like with the fact that we're playing in the StarCraft 2 engine, that alone would change the meta, because you can select an infinite number of units, and in StarCraft 1 and Brood War, I believe it's like 12 or something like that. So with the, given the fact that you're able to select as many units as you want, your micro is way more free. So I feel like that alone would have potential for changing the meta. The Overlords are now going down. At the same time, I think we have what are going to be Zerglings just chilling in the middle of the map. For a second, I thought they were running home. Those Overlord deaths are not going to supply block Typic necessarily, though. He is at 80 out of 88 supply. Army supply is in favor of 4 DarkTemplar, though. 36 army supply to 14. Worker supply in favor of Typic, 64 to 51. Taking a look at the upgrades, we have Zergling speed, and I don't remember what this one is. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. More Overlords going down. This is so annoying. There is the Spore Colony right here, so the Spore Colony will shut that down. But these Corsairs able to do so much harassment on the Zerg side of the map, and on top of this, we have what are going to be a bunch of Zealots. So this is Corsair and Zealots. This probe is taking a vacation. It is chilling, and I love the look of the StarCraft 1 probe. It is so cool. This probe actually going for the gold base, so we have a bit of a greedy playstyle behind this, but at the same time, Green hasn't done much. Green hasn't done much to harass the Protoss player. Typic, though, doing a great job at making sure he's keeping up his supply. He is at 111 supply out of 154, and his macro behind this is honestly really, well, it's really good in terms of keeping up with his opponent, but he is floating quite a bit of money. He was, for a second, floating 1,000 minerals and 1,000 gas. Now, if I'm not mistaken, so we're at 1 attack and also Storm for our Protoss player. We're at 1-1 for our Zerg player. On top of the fact that he's actually double expanding. I didn't notice this, so we have a double expansion coming from DarkTemplar. Looks like the Corsairs are going down. We'll probably, potentially, nope, never mind. They will not take down another Overlord. So Suddenly, this game is now turning into a ground versus ground game. I don't think we're going to see any more Corsairs moving forward. Taking a look at the army supply, 83 army supply to 63. So, despite the fact that these Corsairs took out so many Overlords, Zerg's ahead in the army supply and the worker supply as well. 84 workers to 66 in favor of our green Zerg player, and now 67 army supply to 64. Slight lead for our green Zerg player. I just can't get over how that Corsair looks. It is so cool. So many speedlings coming towards the other side of the map. Will he be able to do damage? Yes, potentially, but there's only 5 workers on this third base location. DarkTemplar is actually expanding like a madman. Will he run these probes away? No, so all these probes will go down. 5 probes killed so far, now 7 killed. 9 killed in this engagement. The Zealots coming in to try and stop this, but these Zerglings, man. These Zerglings wiping the floor with probes. At the same time, we have what are going to be Zealots running into the main base, but they will all go down to what are Lurkers and a bunch of Hydralisks. Oh man, how many workers were killed? 12 workers killed total by our green Zerg player. That's really not as bad as I thought. At the same time, there's a couple more Zerglings in the main base for the Protoss player, and a few more straggling Zerglings at what I want to say is like the, what is this, the 6th or 7th base location. I'm not going to bother to count. There's too much going on. Looks like there is going to be some attempt at a retaliation from DarkTemplar. Will likely take out, never mind, I was going to say will likely take out the Sunken Colony, but there is no observer. So these Lurkers will be able to do so much damage until we have the observer on the field. Now, the unfortunate thing is the observer requires so much more tech in Brood War. You don't only need what is that? The robotics bay, no, robotics facility, excuse me. You also need an observatory. So you need the robotics facility and the observatory to get an observer. It's actually rude. Two attack will complete for our Protoss player. We're still at 1-1 for our Zerg player. And there's the observatory right there on the production tab. But this is so many Hydras. How many Hydras are there? 72? There's 72 Hydras, bro, and I forgot it's because I'm pretty sure these are one supply Hydralisks. That is so outrageous. That is so outrageous. That's actually not cool. That's not cool. There's no way. Zerg's actually, dare I say, OP? No, I won't say that. As a caster, I can't say that. That would be not professional. At the same time, I do want to say the StarCraft 1 Storms, the Brood War Storms from these High Templar are so heavy on the DPS that they could just totally wipe the floor with Hydralisk blood if they so chose to. The Observer is finished, so these Lurkers will go down to these hits from the Dragoons. Where are our Storms? There are the Storms. What's the army supply at? 66 to 80? No, sorry, 71 to 82. Okay, so 71 army supply to 82. Now 81 army supply in favor of our green Zerg player, but really not as much as I expected. These Lurkers, how many kills? Just 2 kills on that Lurker, 0 kills on the two closest ones, 4 kills on this one on the left, and 1 kill on the one on the back right here. And now we're at kind of a standoff. Oh, but there is a sneaky, oh man, great hit on those Lurkers. The one Storm taking out all of them. You see what I mean about these Storms, dude? Suddenly it's looking like DarkTemplar may be able to shut this push down and start mining off his 6th or 7th base. That's insane, but I love this. We have what is a siege playstyle from our green Zerg player, Typic. We have a lot more Storms. I would love to see them thrown down. This is a little bit too far forward for our blue Protoss player, though. Taking hits from those Lurkers, all you have to do is throw one more Storm, bro. Just one more Storm on the right and maybe 2 more on the left. You'll be able to take out the Lurkers. They are burrowed. They cannot move. They will not be able to run away. And the Defilers on the back of this, oh man, this is going to be crazy. The Defiler absorbing energy by sacrificing a few of those Zerg units, I think. Oh, wow, the sacrificial, I wanted to say the sacrificial Dragoon, but I'm pretty sure that was a misclick. It's actually the Observer that was supposed to move forward. A few more Lurkers do go down. Army supply is still relatively even, still in favor of our Zerg player. Now, I said relatively even, and suddenly it just boosted for our green Zerg player. On the back of this, we have an attempted run-by of Zealots. They will try to do some damage, but the party is at the 6th or 7th base location. These Defilers will be able to blind these Dragoons, though, if I'm not mistaken. So, this is going to be insane. This is going to be brutal. The Observer, though, the ever-important Observer is still alive. There's no Overlord here to detect them. There's actually 2 Observers. Never mind, they just multiplied. Oh, wow, this is a crazy standoff. I think this is one of the longest standoffs in any of the casts I've done. Ultimately, though, it looks like the blue Protoss player, the brew, I could use a brew, but no, the blue Protoss player moving back, forced out of his home. Man, the Protoss can't catch a break. They're always forced out of their home, man. Lore accurate, by the way. Now this absolutely terrifying Zerg army moving towards the right-hand side of the blue side of the map. And this, okay, here we go. I was gonna say, this base has been mining for so long, but now the Lurker eating up so many probes. 10 probes go down in this engagement. We also have the Reavers, though, and the Reavers with their outrageous splash damage on top of the fact that their Storm splash damage may be able to clean this up. This is actually insane. Brood War versus Brood War, the StarCraft 2 engine, the Storms, the Reavers. So much of this Zerg army is getting cleaned up, but they're getting reinforced by these Hydralisks. What are we at? 3-3 attack? Yes, we're at 3 attack and 3 armor for our Zerg player, and we're at 3 attack and 0 armor for our blue Protoss player. Oh, wow, this is actually so insane. DarkTemplar, my guy, you really came through with this game. This replay was submitted by him, and man, I'm having so much fun watching it. This is outrageously cool. Are the Reavers still alive? Yes, they're still alive, but they're literally the slowest thing in the game. I'm pretty sure they legit are. Look at how slow they walk, man. That is crazy. This Lurker with the 11 kills. Somehow this probe is still alive. Wow, this probe is so brave. Looks like Green's Green's focus is on this gold base. I think his sights are set on destroying this gold base. The rocks do go down, and ultimately this Nexus will fall. Wow, that was insane. Those Reavers are so cool. Look at the damage, bro. The Reavers, I mean, the only reason they're balanced the way they are is because they're so outrageously slow. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else to say, although you can do a Reaver drop and totally wipe a mineral line, which is something. We have DarkTemplar on the field as well. DarkTemplar making the DarkTemplar, which is actually not bad. I also didn't realize that DarkTemplar also took this gold base. By the green side of the map. That is outrageous. That's hilarious to me. Now this DarkTemplar, I want to focus on this one and see how many kills it gets, because there's no detection. All you have to do is move an Overlord. The Brood War Overlords are detectors, but I think DarkTemplar realizing that there's no detection. I mean, these observers have stayed alive for so long. So this DarkTemplar with the 8 kills, the hero DarkTemplar, looks like our DarkTemplar player is moving forward and now retaliating with an attack of his own. 30 workers were killed by green and only 1 killed by blue. The Storms, bro, the Storms are so insane on top of the splash damage of those Reavers. I said it once already, but this is like a dream team combo. High Templar and, bro, the Reavers, they are so good. These DarkTemplar moving forward like the assassins they are. We have some cancels on these Lurker cocoons. Typic may not realize that all he needs, no, never mind, just as I said it, moving Overlords towards this army will complete the rest of these Lurkers. Wait, how many Lurkers are there? I think that's 6 or 7 Lurkers that were just hatched. But the Storm and the Reavers are just doing so much splash damage, it's actually causing me pain, and I'm a Protoss player. I'm a Protoss player, and I'm in physical pain watching this. These Reavers are so rude. They're so rude, and on the back of this, let's just appreciate the fact that DarkTemplar is also trying to take this gold base still. That gold base is still somehow alive. Now, Typic is still absolutely in this game, though. I mean, taking a look at the worker supply, he's ahead in worker supply. Army supply relatively even, 75 to 70 in favor of DarkTemplar, but really a 5 army supply difference that just now shifted into a 20 army supply difference in favor of our green Zerg player. This is still very much possible for our green Zerg player to win, man. One thing I would also potentially do is maybe tech into like Ultralisks or something, because the Brood War Ultras are tanks. They got 400 HP and they just do so much damage, bro. Lurkers moving forward, trying to engage this. But the splash damage with these Reavers, the Reavers are in position. This is like walking into siege tanks. So much of the green army is going down. There's so much blood. There's so much blood. Oh man, simultaneously we have an attempted run, I guess, evacuation of workers. I thought that was a run by of Zerglings, but no, I think Typic was just trying to migrate to a different part of the map and expand, and didn't realize that there's also a base right here, and just lost 15 workers. He just lost 15 workers by running them into cannons. I mean, to be fair, I would expect this base to be, like, not taken. Well, in a regular game, I would expect it to not be taken, but with the shenanigans that we're seeing, and the fact that there's a gold base right next door that's occupied by the Protoss, yeah, maybe it wouldn't shock me too much if that base was also taken. So many of the one supply Hydras, bro. There is quite a big mineral bank for our green Zerg player, but in his defense, macro is a lot different for the Brood War Zerg as compared to the StarCraft Zerg. I already said it, but you need the macro hatcheries. You need the macro hatcheries to make use of the larva, because, you know, there's no larva injects for the Brood War Zerg. So something to keep in mind if you decide to play this mod, and I highly recommend you guys play this mod. This is such a sick mod. These bases already kind of mined out, actually, so although he does have that mineral bank, if he doesn't expand somewhere else soon, you know, he may start running out of money. Looks like Templar asking for a pause. Luckily for us, we're watching a replay, so we're not playing StarCraft, we're watching StarCraft, so we do not have to wait for these players to pause. We are from the future watching StarCraft 2 in StarCraft 1. No, StarCraft 1 in StarCraft 2. Oh, bro, that is wild. And there they are, the Ultralisks with the 400 HP. Now, even though the rest of the Brood War Zerg look like dinosaurs, the Ultralisks, they do look like insects. Like, this is straight up a carapace. That is so cool. That is so sick. I love the design. I do wonder how those Ultras will fare against fully loaded Reavers, though. This is so many Reavers. This is so many Reavers. Is that an Observer? So the Observer will check out what's going on the Zerg side of the map, and a lot of this stuff is totally mined out. And the Hive, oh, the Hive is so cool looking, bro. Engagement at this gold base location. Let's see how these Reavers do against what is a super scary Zerg army. There are some Dark Archons, but I don't think they have the energy for a mind control. Oh, wow. Oh, the damage. The outrageous splash damage. The Ultras, though, getting through the front line. One of them doing a crazy breakdance move as it goes down. I think this is just too many. I think this is just too many Reavers, but you see what I mean about how tanky they are. They took so many shots before they go down. It's outrageous. This Ultralisk still alive, actually taking out a Dragoon before it goes down. The splash damage, though, is so powerful for this combination of units. A lot of the High Templar do go down, though. We have several Reavers left. Where are our Observers, though? So no more Observer with this army, which means these Lurkers will be able to do some damage on the back of this. A few more Ultralisks are coming into the fray. How many workers killed? 13 workers killed by green in this engagement total. 50 workers killed by our green Zerg player. Typic, though, throwing out the GG, realizing that it was over, giving the victory to DarkTemplar. What a wild game. Honestly, I think Typic could have stayed in. I think he could have made a comeback, honestly. But regardless, what a cool game. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.